Hello everyone, welcome to a new chess video. Today I'm going to teach you the easiest opening to play with the black pieces. First of all, why is this backwards? Before I get mad, I'm going to show you an impressive opening that's going to make you win so many games that you'll get tired of using it. If you have less than 2100, less than 2200 elo, it'll work great for you because it's incredible. Look, when they play e4, the most used move in chess, we're going to respond with d5. Seriously, chess teacher? The Scandinavian defense? But it's so bad. Wait, be careful with this line, because it's very easy to play, it'll be very easy to memorize, and it'll bring you incredible results. So first, give it a chance, and then judge the line. Perfect. What happens when they capture this pawn? We're going to recapture with the queen, and now the most common thing is for them to attack it with the knight. And now we have to decide where we're going to place this queen. Well, my proposal is to place the queen right in this square here. Why? Because it's a square where the queen is going to be very difficult to attack. Notice that when a piece is two squares diagonally from a knight, this knight needs 4 moves to attack it, which is to say, a lot. And there's no other piece that can attack it directly either. Therefore, the queen, right at a 5, is in a very safe square. And now, why is this line so easy? Well, you're always going to bring out the pieces in the same place. This is an advantage. You just have to think about where those pieces go, and then in your games, practically without thinking, you're just going to place them. Look, chess teacher, where does this knight go? Well, we'll place it on c6, a very solid square. Also, in the center of the board, to control many more squares, just like the other knight, which will place it f6. Look, now I'm moving the black pieces first, and then we'll see it all together, and I'll show you some traps that you're going to love in this opening, and you'll be able to use them a lot, and many people fall for them. Also, if you like this opening and want more like it, please give the video a big thumbs up, and I won't ramble anymore. Where does this bishop go? We'll always place this bishop here, preferably when its knight has come out. We'll see it later on. And now we'll castle long to place this rook on this semi-open file. Seems easy, right? So let's start looking at it, and I'm telling you, you're going to like this line a lot, and you're going to win many games. Pay attention. So first step, place the queen at a5. Now, let's look at a real game. What can white play here? Well, the most common thing is for them to play the other knight, knight f3. So what we need to know is that it's better if we take a bit longer to develop this knight. Why? Because if we develop this knight quickly, there are ideas with d4 to come and attack fast, which bother us a bit. So what we're going to do is, first of all, taking advantage of them moving this knight, place this bishop here, creating a bit of an annoying pin. Then, once we pin the knight with the bishop, our opponent has to decide, right? The most common thing, so this pin doesn't bother them, is to develop their bishop and place it right in the middle of the pin. Well, as you can see, the pieces will always go in the same place. Is the order important? Let's see, it is important. When they bring out the knight, I recommend you place this bishop here directly. And it's also important that you delay the exit of this knight a bit, because of what I was telling you. So now, what move would we play? Well, what I explained to you, right? Now it would be time, if we have to delay this one, and we've already moved this one, to move the knight to f6. We're developing, importantly, we leave this bishop for the end, develop these 3, and we castle long. For example, white castles and what are we going to do? Well, bring out the other knight. Now we do, because otherwise we couldn't castle. Look at that, huh? We have the pieces, as I told you before, and they're in a great position. What could the white pieces do here? Well, a move they often make is h3, and I'm going to show you how to punish it in a brutal way. They want to kick out this bishop? Don't worry, I'll defend it from here, and this bishop isn't moving from here. Well, could you play backwards? Yes, you could play it, but this is a totally brutal trap, and it's going to make you win many games. Maybe this trap is the one that has made me win the most games. Look, he's giving away the bishop. Chess teacher, what's going on here? After pawn takes bishop, giving away the bishop, we simply have to do the following. We have to capture this pawn here, threatening this knight. Therefore, a knight that has to go, can it come here? No, because we capture it. Can it come here? No, because we capture it. Just like here, we also capture it, and here we also capture it. So the only square the knight has is to come either here or here. It seems more logical to come here, although the trap works just the same. What we have to do is take advantage of the fact that we've opened this rook file. Look at that, huh? How powerful it is. Even if we don't end in checkmate, we castle long, and we have the open file to attack the king with the rook. Super easy. Then we come in with the queen and chess teacher. What are you threatening here? Well, guys, checkmate on the next move. Therefore, they have to react. The only move to not lose instantly is to try to open an escape square for the king. And what are we going to do if they try to escape? Well, we're not going to eat the knight, but instead, we simply advance this pawn, attacking the knight here, but above all, defending the king's exit door so he can't escape. And now, whatever they do, it's going to be checkmate on the next move, right? For example, if they go here, check, and when they go here, checkmate. It can't escape from here. But of course, our opponent, besides f3, can also play the move f4, and that stops us from advancing this pawn because we'd lose the queen. So, what do we do if they play f4? Well, pay close attention to the video because we're gonna win here either way. First, we'll capture this knight with a check. Notice the only move is to bring the king over here. So, how do we continue now? Do we advance the pawn? No, we'll take this pawn right here with a check. Notice we're already trying to corner the king, so he has no way out. Where does this king have to go? It looks like he has to go back here, right? Coming here would be way too dangerous, because look, it'd be made in 2 moves. Therefore, this king has to escape through here. And now, how do we continue? It seems simple, it seems complicated. Is anyone able to guess it? Come on, I give you 3 seconds to see if you can guess it. Well, the perfect move here is queen d4, giving check along the diagonal. Notice the king can't escape because we have the rook. So the only move they have here is to block the check with the rook. And then we have to respond with this move. Now we'll capture the rook on the next move. Even imagine if they come to defend. Here we have a very, 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 very beautiful way to win, which would be to sacrifice the rook on the back rank. Look, check, they're forced to take it because there's no other way. And now we come in with the queen here. Check. And on the next move, checkmate. That's incredible. So, e4, d5, e takes d5, queen takes d5, and when they attack the queen with knight c3, we'll place the queen on a5. We saw before what happened when they played knight f3 in this position. Look, we'd quickly bring out the bishop to pin this knight. But what happens? Well, here the white pieces have several options. They're not always going to play knight f3. That's why I repeat and repeat and repeat in all the videos that you have to familiarize yourselves with the ideas, not the specific moves. So, for example, if they play d4, a very normal move to open the diagonals for the bishop and to control the center, I'm sure you've seen it at some point in this opening. What are we going to do? Well, following the logic that we'd bring this bishop here when the knight came out, and that we have to take a bit to develop this one, we'll know we have to bring the knight to f6. First, knight f6, and now when they play knight f3, now we will pin with the bishop. This is the correct order, okay? Let's continue, for example, with a bishop e2, as we saw before, a very logical move, right? To defend this pin. So what will we do? Knight to c6, obviously. And watch out, now you'll ask, can't they come and attack you here? Well, that would be a serious mistake. Of course it would. And I'm going to show you again how to punish it. This would be a serious mistake. If you didn't like it before or didn't have time to give me a like, which is totally free, with the trap right here, with this trap, please give me a like. It's totally free and it helps me upload daily chess videos. And above all, if you want to see another video tomorrow, subscribe to the channel. Now, how do we punish this pawn advance? It attacks our knight, it looks dangerous. We simply castle. We castle queenside. No need to move the knight, because if they capture it, we capture the queen. In other words, this knight can't be moved. And not only that, but now we're going to take this pawn no matter what, since there's no sound way to defend it. We're attacking it with 1, 2, and 3 pieces. It's too difficult. And we also threaten to attack it again if they don't move the queen out of the way. Therefore, this pawn would definitely fall. Now then, let's continue, because of course, the most normal thing is, well, they could be, huh? That they play. This has been played against me many times, but what if they don't play d5? So we'll see that white continues, for example, with castling, a more normal move, not falling into any trap, let's call it that. We also castle queenside and put brutal pressure again on this point, right? Knight, rook, this pawn can't move out. Notice that here, so many times they've fallen into this error and played, for example, h3, where we simply eliminate the bishop, which is the defender of the d4 point, and now we capture here. And look at this position. It's way too advantageous. We're up a pawn, a central pawn at that, with a rook on the queen's file, so we can make discovered attacks. If this queen moves, she can't move here. If she moves elsewhere, we take here and open up the king's position with double pawns. Therefore, we have a super advantageous position. It's what I'm telling you. This opening is very easy to play. Notice that we've done exactly the same moves every time. And no matter what our opponent does, we're ending up with a position that's too good. Let's imagine they don't fall for this trap either. Let's take this back. Imagine we have this here, and they don't play h3 here, but instead react a bit better and defend this pawn right here. So how can we continue? Well, my idea is to break in the center with d5. Now we're putting on brutal pressure. Remember, they can't advance, as that would be a huge mistake, since we have a brutal pin here. But here, many people, so many, fall into another trap. Seriously? You haven't liked it yet? Hurry, look at this trap. They fall, they take here because they think they have this check with a capture and they'll win a pawn. But this is a calculation error that's too simple for us. Why? Because what do we have to do? Take this knight, and if they take with check, we just have to take back with the knight. And look, let's keep count. Two pieces against a piece in a pawn. Right here so you can see it there. So we would be winning a piece. Too easy, and you wouldn't believe how many people fall for this trap due to a small miscalculation. And wait, because now comes the best one of all. I'll tell you, I actually won a tournament playing this line. The truth is, my opponents didn't expect it, and I was far from being the strongest player in the tournament. Look, okay? Here we've seen the taken. Taken here would be a serious mistake, but what if they do anything else? For example, they kick this bishop out of here. Well then pay attention, okay? We're going to capture this knight, and after the recapture, not only do we win this pawn here, but we also win a piece. Look, protected by the rook and the knight, we attack the knight and the bishop. And not only that, but we have a pin that's way too strong on the queen. Therefore, we would be winning the game right here. There isn't just one or two or three traps, there are just too many. The opponent has to tread very carefully, because no matter what they do, we're going to catch them in a trap. And you see how easy it is to play, because we're always going to do the same thing. So it's super easy to play, and super difficult for our opponent to defend against. So I hope you love this video. If you don't want to miss more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And I'm telling you, if you give me a like and comment, I read absolutely everyone. You know I love reading all of you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.